Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of these designs. It's actually the same design. One of them is just colored and a little bit fancier with some of the shading, and then the other one is the straight black and white, well, technically black and transparent SVG file. These designs translate out to Demons Run when a good man goes to war, and are designed to be about a 4-inch in diameter tattoo. So when I design a tattoo, I make sure none of my lines are less than 0.7 millimeters thick and could bleed, blur a little bit to at least 1 millimeter, because that is about what is physically possible for tattoo on skin without becoming muddy and looking blurred and blended. With that being said, let's go ahead and get to how this design says what it says. I will be using this design, the fully colored one, to show how it says what it says. And in the script, you start reading at the bottom and you go counterclockwise, like a time traveler going back in time. And I do have a little start marker here at the bottom showing where the bottom of the design is and which direction to go for counterclockwise reading. And that is true for sentences in a paragraph, words in a sentence, and letters in a word. So bottom counterclockwise, this little guy is just some decorative filler. It's just a divot on our sentence circle here. And our first actual word is this one. And I wrote it in the negative because it's the word demons. Excuse me, hiccups. And this word, starting at the bottom, has a deep divot letter stem. Letter stems make up the 4 different rows of this script, and the very top row is like a horseshoe or an omega. We call those deep divots, and that deep divot stem is the top row, and there are 1, 2, 3 dots on this specific deep divot, so those 3 dots put in the column with 3 dots. So those 3 dots plus the deep divot make this the letter D. And then we have an E. This is a vowel. Vowels are smaller circles. And a vowel on the line of the word circle is an E. So the little vowels, the vowels are the little circles above me. You can see at the bottom what they look like on the word circles. And then there are also little circles on the different letter stems because you can put vowels on consonants, which is what's happening here. And in fact, this here with the 2 big circles, this thin circle here and this thin thicker circle here, are 2 consonants, and then we have a vowel on it as well. So there's 2 consonants and a vowel on this letter stack. So letter stacking is something that I am going to explain right now. When you read a stacked group of letters, the consonants come before the vowels. So these 2 consonants are going to come before the vowels, and then you read thin to thick. So this thin one before the thick one. And a slash through a vowel moves it up 1 letter in the stack. So it's kind of like order of operations. First, we group our consonants before the vowels. So these 2 consonants, first let's figure out what they are. We have a full circle with 3 lines, so that's the M, and a full circle with 1 line, so that's the N. So the M and the N before the O. And then we have the thin before the thick. So this M is a thin one, so it's going to be before the thick N. 3 lines before the 1 line because the thin one is before the thick one. So M before the N. And then the O has 1 slash on it, this little slash through the middle here. So that's going to move it up 1 letter in the stack in front of the N. So M-O-N. So this is an M-O-N stack. And then we have an S with 3 lines there. So D-E-M-O-N stack S. So demons, our first word. And then this R is a shallow divot, like somebody took a bite or missing a chunk out of this circle. And there are 3 dots on it, so that's an R. The U has a line going outwards, and the N, again, 1 line on a full circle. So demons run, comma. This whole half moon art just says demons run. And I kind of want to add some emphasis to that because it is the whole demons run. It is kind of like the name of the place and the poem from the show that this quote is from. So demons run, comma. And then we have this sentence circle. So again, starting at the bottom with this word and the bottom of this word circle here with our first letter, we have this shallow divot here, which is a WH with 1 dot. Then the E centered, and then the N with 1 line. So when this word circle doesn't seem to have anything on it. The word A, or is just a little A vowel on a word circle by itself. So this big circle, little circle is how you say the word So when a G is a deep divot with 1 line. O, O, D, deep divot 3 dots, just like this D in demons. And then this man word, bottom of the word circle here, this thick circle has 1, 2, 3 lines and is the M. And then the A outside the word circle, and then the N with 1 line there. And even though, you know how I said the reading thin to thick, and this one being thick first and that one being thin first, that letter stacking only counts if they're concentric circles. So these two aren't concentric, so you wouldn't read them in the letter stacking order. You just go bottom counterclockwise like normal. So M-A-N, man, then G, one line's on it, just like this one line's on this G. O, E, and then the S has 1, 2, 3 lines. Yes, this curve does curve around to connect both places, but because it ends both there and it ends there, it still counts in both of those spots. So that would be a total of 1, 2, 3 lines on this S. And a T is a shallow divot with no modifiers. Lines that pass through do not count. And then the O is a vowel floating inside our word circle. And then last but not least is this. Kind of in a negative cutout style. I have a shallow divot with 1, 2 lines, then the A outside the word circle, and then the R with 3 dots. And this is a period at the very end of this little sentence circle here. So, start marker. Demons run, comma, when a good man goes to war. And that is that design. I hope you like it. Thanks. Bye.